Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Well, I'm going to get you on. Oops. Okay. This is fun. We should have music playing. There he is. Hi, Will. I don't hear you yet, but that's okay. You have your volume off. You can join me. There you are.
I love the backdrop.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah.
It's I love continuity.
Yeah. Grace did this drawing for us last year for our YouTube banner.
Love it. Love it.
And I was like, so I was at the gallery today and I took pictures outside, but it was just too busy.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a good sign too. Okay. Yeah. My little blurb here, the president's message, for lack of a better term, is only about 90 seconds long, so we can focus on the new members. So
yeah, for sure.
If you didn't plan on it, I'm going to mention my and Lucas's show and Dennis's show in the same gallery. So, and then we'll move on to that. I won't dwell on anything, and I'll try not to get into one of my tirades.
You're good. You're good. People love to hear from you.
Yeah, well.
All right, we had 165 people sign up for this today.
Excellent. Superb.
That's super exciting.
That's excellent.
And they're all coming on now. They're getting here. So 527. So we'll see.
Yeah, I sent out a bunch of invitations. And did we happen to send one to Alana?
She had the email. I believe she had the email.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah. I think so, because we talked about it. Yeah. So, all right, we have 29 people on so far. People
all right.
On. Hello, everybody. Just gonna let it all populate. Will and I can do a little song and dance.
Now, can you see everybody?
No. So what I see is I just see the list of people that are coming up.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And what you and I see right here is what the rest of the webinar attendees see. The two of us. Yeah. And that keeps it, because with that many people, it's just too many.
Yeah. When I did that National Watercolor Society meeting out of Los Angeles, there were 100+ people, and you could scroll, but the postage stamp size icons were so small you didn't know who was talking or whatever. So yeah. And I like the new addition of the raise the hand thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
that's right. When you're talking, it kind of goes to the front. Is that what happens there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I see our artists are getting on here. I see Anne, I see Ben, I see Cindy. I saw Chris Sawyer. Maybe that's Robin's. It's going to be interesting to find everyone. Alicia's here. We have some artist members here from the gallery, which is great. And lots of guests, lots of visitors, friends and family.
Even my neighbor was over this afternoon. She plays tennis with Artz.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Very cool. So we're getting up there. I'm sure people will just kind of keep on joining.
Well, I went around the house and disconnected anything that used Wi-Fi except for the computer.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I did last night. I turned off all the other things that were doing Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
To help it.
Yeah, and then tomorrow is no problem at the gallery, so we're good.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it was busy today. We had over 100 visitors come through the gallery today.
Excellent.
Nice. A lot of people who'd never been there before.
Good.
Yeah, so that was nice. It was a good experience. Nice and busy. All right, so we have about half of the people, I think, that well, not quite, but I think it is 5:30, so I think that we'll go ahead and start. I think people will just either keep on joining or not. I think
Sure.
they're going to start coming on. So I think that we will go ahead. Hi, everybody. Welcome. And you've been hearing Will and I have a little chit chat here, but I'm Jennifer Anderson. I'm so happy that you're here for this special event this evening. We so wish we could see everyone in person, but we're very happy that we have this technology to bring us together. Just a couple housekeeping tips. If you get bumped off the webinar for whatever reason, for your own Wi-Fi or whatever happens, just go back to the link that's in your email. You can rejoin at any time. And the way we're going to do this evening is that Will and I are going to host. This is Will Bullis, my co-host, our current president of the Carmel Art Association Board of Directors. We're going to co-host, and we're going to bring each new artist on individually as a panelist. So what you're going to see on your screen is you're going to see me, Will, and then each artist. And at the same time, when they're on, I'm going to be sharing some of their work. And Will and I are going to be chatting with them about their work, and you're going to have the opportunity to go ahead and ask questions. So at the bottom of your Zoom, if you're on a computer, I believe, there's a Q&A and there's a chat box if you hover over the bottom of your window. I'd ask that you put questions in the Q&A because I'll be able to keep track of them there. The chat box is a little bit harder to keep track of because it builds a long stream of chats, whereas the Q&A, I can kind of keep track. So when your favorite artist is on or more, go ahead and ask them questions. Questions are great. It's an opportunity to learn a little bit more and get more engaged, which is super. It's what we want. So go ahead and ask questions, and I will do my best to reach everyone's questions. And I think that's about it. So welcome. I'm going to hand it over to Will now. Will?
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. It's certainly a pleasure to be here, and it's certainly exciting to have this kind of technology to be able to reach all of you, and tonight to celebrate our 6 new members that we're absolutely thrilled with. For the past almost 16 months since we were ordered to close our doors, it's been pretty creepy most of the time, and it wasn't an easy road to get here, but here we are. I want to first of all thank all the artist members of the Carmel Art Association. Each of you, in one way or another, contributed to the board of directors decision making over this past 16 months. Some of the decisions were a little painful, but like I said, here we are. We've come out of this chaos bigger and better. We're not totally home free yet, but we are oh so close, and we're all looking forward to it. Happily to say we are open 10 to 5, Thursday through Monday. We will remain closed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays for the time being. And so please indulge us when you come to visit the gallery, and please wear your mask for the time being. This is our first virtual opening. Jennifer has been through this routine before with the For the Love of Art, which was extremely successful. But as much as we would like to do things in person, and this is not meant in any way to replace our in-person receptions and get-togethers. We can't wait to get back to that, but all in good time. We'll get back to that great style of our receptions and get back to our business of not only showing art, but socializing with you guys. I certainly want to thank the multimedia committee that we have established at the outset of this in conjunction with our staff. For all they've done and will continue to be doing, ensuring our success. The staff's dedication has been remarkable, and I want a very big thank you, and I wish I could give you each a hug or a handshake. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Sally, and our newest staff member, Grace. I just want to get in a personal plug. Lucas Block and I are having our first duo show in 43 years. We met 45 years ago. We're having a duo show carrying on for the month of June. And we look forward to our third duo show as spacing would have it. And that'll be June 5th, 2064. So mark your calendars, please. I hope that didn't go over too many heads. Now, the reason we are here today is to honor and let everybody get familiar with our brand new artists. We are so proud of this. These wonderful additions to our membership will ensure our legacy and continue our place as the hallmark in the art community and carry on, and we will continue and carry on as the best place for the best art. Now I'll turn this back over to Jennifer. Thank you all for attending this, and let's see how the whole thing goes. I think you're going to enjoy today.
Yeah, so yeah, I think you will too. So there'll be a little bit of transition periods when we're switching between artists, and I'm sharing a screen, so just bear with me if we have any technical difficulties there, but it should be pretty smooth sailing. So our first artist that we're going to bring on tonight is Craig Lauterbach. Craig Lauterbach was juried in as I'm going to promote him. I'm going to bring him up on the screen right now. He was juried in as a sculptor. So we don't often get a lot of sculptors applying to the gallery, and Craig knocked our socks off with his work. And let's see, did he come on, Craig? There he's on, he's coming. And we'll wait for his video and audio to come on up. Can you put video and audio on, Craig? Yep. See virtual.
There we go.
There we go. There he is.
Oh,
hello, Craig.
You made it. How are you?
Good evening.
Hello, hello.
Oh,
Okay,
we're doing fine.
Good. Awesome. Craig's on the road, everyone. So we had him on first so he could be sure to have a time to find some Wi-Fi and join us. So I'm going to share my screen now with with the work. There we go.
There we go.
And let me do it this way.
Oh.
There we go. Okay, so Craig, here we are. So Craig, like I said, is a sculptor who's been working for many years, and I don't remember how many years he's been working in wood sculptor, but we'll let you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, Craig, and how long you've been working in this medium.
Well, you were a child when I started. So it's been a little over 50 years. I started just working in wood. It was a new process for me. I am self-taught. So there has been a lot of disappointments and a lot of things that have gone into the fireplace. So, but I'm getting things down. I'm having a great time at my age, and looking forward to being a member of the Carmel Art Association.
Nice. Will, do you want to?
I think one of the things that I first noticed when we were during Craig's work was its uniqueness in the fact that we have some absolutely fabulous sculptors in our organization, but Craig's work really stuck out because of its uniqueness and application. Not only does it have so much motion and three-dimensional quality to it, but the inlay work on this is just superb. It's the quality of a very fine jeweler, and that's what caught my eye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Craig, do you want to tell us a little bit about your process?
Well, the piano keys there, each piece is cut on a table saw. So within those colors, there's 5 different beige woods, light brown, from hickory to ash to oak to maple and bird's eye maple. And then the keys are wangi, which is an African wood. Of all the sculptures that I have done, I absolutely still love the piano keys.
Oh.
It just brings out it kind of my personality. I do nothing straight. So that just, I just love the piece. So
yeah, the little accents that you put in of the color, the turquoise on some of these pieces is just exquisite.
Yeah, I'll go back to that one there has some of the turquoise.
Yeah, right.
And I understand some of these are precious stones or semi-precious stones.
I'm getting the reason I do that is a lot of the woods will fade according to the sunlight. If it's in the sunlight, they fade into a neutral color. Bloodwood, Paduke, and there's a few others that are brilliant red, including Purple Heart, and they fade a little bit, and it's bright red when I do it, and in a year it's tough to recognize the woods. So I started putting the turquoise. There's now opals in there. There's malachite. There's a bunch of stones, whatever I can get of. They will be that color forever. So that is why I've started putting them in there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, your work demands to be seen in person because it's just exquisite.
It absolutely does.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm going to just ask you guys a question. If I go up to it's hard to get the Q&A. I have a couple of questions in the Q&A and I'm trying to get to them, but when I'm screen sharing, I can't see them. So what I'll do is we'll just talk a few minutes more and then I'll take screen share off and then I'll address the questions that have come in from the audience because I can't really see the questions. So
Okay.
be patient with me, guys. So Craig, so some of your work has some representational components to it, like the piano keys here, and there's a few pieces in the gallery that do as well. Then you also have these really rather abstract pieces that are whereas the general shape is very bold and abstracted, but with all the intricate design. What's the inspiration for some of these, like this one here and this one here?
This is Eclipse. Now, what has happened is that you have to basically do the whole thing and then attach it at the very last, the last thing that you do, and then fill in the spots. So when I'm doing a piece or something new, I will think and design and for at least a week or 2 weeks just to figure out the steps on how to do it. Sometimes if I skip a step, you just can't do it. So it's a process that the process goes on forever. It takes about 2 to 3 to 4 weeks to finish a piece.
Wow.
That's not working 10 hours a day on it. The epoxies take about 4 to 6 hours to dry. So you've got 3 to 4 sessions a day. Mm-hmm. It works itself out to at least a couple weeks doing one piece.
Nice. So do you have a favorite wood that you use, or a couple of different favorite types of wood that you really
I'm up to about 30 different kinds of woods. It used to be walnut, but boy, you get into some of the rosewoods. And my favorite wood is our local coastal oak. It's got so much character to it that I just absolutely love it. You can cut one tree down or get a branch that's fallen down and get 3 or 4 different woods out of it. It's the same wood, but the character in it is crazy. So that has turned out probably to be one of my favorite woods. And,
wow.
And it's not $180 a square foot. So
it's an ample supply here in the peninsula. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna.
When it starts to spald, it's a unique process of rotting, and when you get it at the right time, it's a gorgeous wood.
Wow, I'm gonna hit escape here and go back. Oops. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. There we go. Am I back?
I think so.
Okay. All right, because I can look at some of the Q&A. Hang on one second. Let me see what we have for Q&A. Okay, hi Craig. This is Carol from Santa Fe. We used to be gallery mates until I moved here. I love your work. So congrats for getting in the gallery. Well done. And then we have from
thank you, Carol.
Yeah, there you go. And one of your fellow new artists actually asks, of all of those small pieces of wood, are they all glued together? So did you hear that?
They are with everything is joined. Yes.
Yes.
The whole technique, each wood will breathe according to the hardness of it. So if you've got 24 different woods all breathing at a different time, the epoxies are the secret of the whole piece. So it locks everything in.
Nice.
So that those that want to copy, that's the secret right there.
And then we have another question. Carol, do you make architectural drawings first? Did you hear that?
Actually, I don't.
You don't make architectural drawings first?
I do not. No, I do not draw them out. It's all in my head before I do them.
Wow. Hang on a second. I'm trying to find the chat. Sorry, guys. There we go. Okay, what is your musical inspiration? With the piano.
I am about as talented as the local cat. I am not into music. I don't play anything at all. So my son is the piano. So basically the first piano keys that came out was his inspiration. So it's and he's waiting for one for me to make them. So
so have you done more?
He's going to have to wait a while.
Have you done more piano pieces?
I have. The one that you're showing is the fourth one.
Okay.
The first one lasted 30 minutes on Facebook, and it went to a grade school friend of mine that grew up as a music teacher. So it was good to connect with him. And I just shipped it to Florida within 2 hours. So it was fun. That was fun.
It must have been interesting shipping something like that.
I haven't seen them in 65 years, so that was kind of cool. FedEx did a great job of shipping it, so
Cool.
I'm pleased with that too.
Excellent.
That's excellent. Nice. Fantastic. Okay. Well, I think that's the questions that I have from the audience. So we're good there. And I just checked the chat and we're good there. They said, congratulations, people are happy to be here. So that's great. Will, do you have any other comments or questions?
No, except I've been a member of the Carmel Art Association since 1980, and I have seen, and I'm very familiar with all our sculptors, and they're all fabulous sculptors, very creative. And Craig's welcoming into our organization is just a wonderful addition, and I'm very proud, and I hope to have a long friendship with Craig.
Yes. Yeah, Craig, welcome. Huge welcome.
I certainly hope so too.
Yep. Big welcome from all of us, from the
Thank you both.
whole group. And thank you so much. I'm going to, let's see, I have to now take you off as a panelist. Let me see how I do that, because I did this last night, you guys.
Thanks you too.
Yeah, thank you, Craig.
I think if I just do that, remove. Yes, there we go. Okay, I did it. You always forget where all those little buttons are. It is a little bit challenging. All right, that was great. Okay, we are going to now bring in Benjamin Anderson.
All right.
Benjamin Anderson, I'm going to promote you as a panelist. If you're ready to go, welcome Ben. He's coming on. I'll let you welcome Ben, Will. There he is.
There he is. Hi,
Can you hear me?
Good to see you. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Mr. President, how are you, sir?
I am quite well. Yeah, please call me Mr. Bullis.
Okay.
Craig is on again. I got to get Craig off. Hang on, guys. Sorry. Ooh, there we go. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know why he popped back up, but he did. All right, well, Ben, welcome. For those of you who don't know, Ben has a special part in my heart. He's my son. And so I'm very thrilled and proud that he has been juried in as a new artist member. The show looks fantastic, Ben, at the gallery. I was at the gallery all day today, and there were lots of people coming through with lots of comments on all the new members' work. So it was super exciting to see that. So we're really glad you're here. And I am going to let Will chat with you while I bring up your work. So go ahead, Will.
Ben, we are very fortunate that the talent in your family has rubbed off. We're quite pleased with it. You do wonderful work. It's very thoughtful, and some beautiful expanses of landscapes. Absolutely. And your choice of lighting is just superb.
Thank you. Thank you, Will.
You're quite welcome. No, that's Mr. Bullis.
Mr. Bullis.
Yeah, so I am fortunate to live and have been able to live with a lot of Ben's artwork over the years, and seeing him develop as an artist has been very exciting, not only as his mom, but also as a fellow artist. And to see what he has done in the past several years with his landscapes and the study that he partakes to do it. Ben, do you want to share a little bit about what your inspirations are, and maybe your process in terms of, you know, how you think about your work and how you develop a painting?
Yeah, so I'm like, gosh, I mean, how do I put this? I'm inspired by a lot of different things. For those of you who don't know me, I'm one who has typically kind of kept to myself and been out in nature a lot. You know, growing up on both coasts in the Northeast and in California has enabled me to be near a lot of nature, at least where I've lived. And so first and foremost, my inspiration is nature. And then in addition to, you know, natural elements, of course, my mom, an incredible mom who has supported me and helped teach me, she homeschooled me, has been a huge source of inspiration. But I want to say, you know, as much as that is a true blessing and something to be very grateful for, really the guide is nature, the guide is the landscape for me. And so, you know, it's been a lot of work trying to understand how to go about painting landscape, because I feel like there's so many different ways to do it. And there's just, you know, you can do abstract, you can do anything from abstract to some sort of, you know, representational abstraction to a realism. There's just so many ways. And so finding one's way through the land, it's like a journey. And I think in the end, all that matters is, you know, you keep learning. And so my inspiration is, you know, nature, and also just the desire to just learn and try to share with others as I learn. So I find that very motivating.
Yeah.
I saw your work for the first time, I believe, about 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you have evolved in leaps and bounds. These landscapes are just superb. You also teach too. You teach at CSUMB, I believe.
No, I do not teach at CSUMB. We had a workshop lined up, but then, you know, the catastrophe of 2020 kind of postponed things. But I do have workshops lined up at Sitka Center for Art and Ecology in Oregon, and workshops lined up locally at local art centers. So, you know, the workshop thing and teaching courses here and there comes and goes with the times. But first and foremost, I do a lot of lessons with people, and that's been a real privilege, because I think going back to the idea of learning is like, no matter how old you are, no matter what learning difference, because I'm severely dyslexic, no matter who you are, where you're from, there's always something you can learn. And so it's been really awesome during this time actually to meet people online and teach online and navigate and just share and keep sharing. So, you know, it's interesting.
Well, we're at this amazing period in the history of the world, the planet, the cosmos. The digital world has made us, and sometimes forced us, but pleasantly so, I would think, at least on my behalf, to connect with not only other people, but other artists, and share techniques and views of the world. And your view of the world is absolutely exquisite.
Thank you.
That's a really nice thing to say. Yeah. So speaking of like sharing techniques and process, and so these are oil paintings that Ben has here. And so do you want to share a little bit about, maybe, do you have maybe your favorite materials or process and things that you've really kind of attached to, I suppose?
Yeah, of course. Well, you know, for one thing, it's like when it comes to oil painting, and I think most painters know this, there's so many different ways to use oils. And I think that one of the aspects that I'm drawn to is the idea of going back to this idea of improvisation. So I grew up as a jazz drummer, and so part of that experience involves responding in person to other musicians in a musical fashion. So one of the methods or processes that I would consider to be fairly technical, but also creative, is just responding to the landscape instantaneously. And so that kind of involves a lot of just kind of, I wouldn't say hyper attention, but just a lot of calm, just a lot of breathing, and just be okay as the light as the light shifts. That's okay. It's not a still life. It's nature. It's wild. It's crazy. It's fun. It's scary. It's okay. Let the light shift and just keep painting. And that to me is my favorite way of going about the process. So, that's process. In terms of materials, I use all sorts of brushes and rags and
yeah.
So.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. So I know that so plein air painting is part of what you do as well. And do you feel like there's a huge difference between kind of being out when you're doing plein air as opposed to, like, is the energy different for you, like being out in plein air as opposed to studio painting?
Absolutely. And I think actually that was one of the major challenges in learning how to paint. And it was basically like, in the studio, as a lot of us are familiar. And if you're not familiar, basically in the studio, you have controlled lighting. Outside, you're not in control of the lighting. So it's kind of, you have to let go in a lot of ways. And so that's the main difference. But what's interesting is if you're painting outside and you're letting go, that can actually help your work at least for me, it really helped me in the studio, because suddenly I was just letting go, and it really helped me with my MFA degree in grad school, is just let go and just keep letting go. And I actually, at one point, my professors told me to, just, okay, you need to let go even more. And so, it gets a little heady, but, whether you're in a program or you're not in a program, or you're a professional artist or whoever you are, or you're just beginning, I think letting go is that's a wonderful perspective, because at that point, it really comes down, you really start to absorb information a lot more. There's no preconceived notions in your head. Like that leaf, is it really green? Well, I'm seeing some yellow and some blue, so you start to take in a lot. And the way the light reflects in California, you see a lot more. To me, you see a lot of gold out here. There's a lot of gold lighting.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys heard earlier, Ben mentioned going coast to coast. So Ben hails from New England, but then spent teenage world and young adulthood here on California. And the colors, we were talking at the gallery today, the colors are so very different East Coast to West Coast. And that's one thing that I think as artists, those are the first things that strike us. I'm going to, Craig, I don't know how Craig keeps on coming on, but he does. I'm sorry, Craig, I'm just keep on popping you off. Sorry, everyone. So I have a few questions for you from the audience, Ben. Anne, another fellow artist of yours, says, gorgeous, Ben, in all caps, such a mood you capture, which is nice to say. Carol asks, do you make plein air studies? Your palette is serene and foggy, just like Monterey. So
that's awesome.
So do you make plein air studies for your pieces that you say would do in the studio?
Yes, I do. Short answer is yes. Long answer real quick is long answer real quick. I create the studies, but then I always refer back to my studies the same way one might refer to a journal. So the studies inform my work, and sometimes studies will make it into a show, or sometimes they'll make it into some sort of formal presentation. But a lot of my work is a mixture between painting outside and painting in the studio. Sometimes I'll paint a large painting outside, and then I'll bring it in and just kind of tighten it up, and then I'll bring it out again. There can be a back and forth. There's no rules. Yeah. There's no just do whatever it takes, because and that's me talking to me. That's my inner voice. Like, I'm still kind of, because you can probably tell, I'm open to learning. So for me at the moment, it's like, do the studies, but then take something big out in the field once in a while and just see what happens. And if it goes totally crazy, let it go totally crazy. That's a good thing. So,
right. I think as artists, we get like stuck in our heads sometimes. There has to be things done a certain way. I'm sure, Will, have you experienced that, where you feel like, no, I have to do this way?
Never.
Of course.
Well, I noticed in Ben's work, and I've heard him as a musician perform for us at the Art Association and some of our openings a couple years ago, and his lyricism shows in his work. It has a very musical feel to it, and it's very comforting to look at.
Yeah, yeah, yes.
Thank
So
you.
I
Well,
have
that's
a few more comments here. So I love the simplicity and almost randomness of the places you capture. It seems very intentional. Is it?
That's an awesome question. It is intentional. And so this kind of goes back into actually something about my process. What I really, really enjoy doing, in fact, I was just talking to a really good friend of mine that's always, been in the art scene as well. And we were just discussing what does it mean to go outside and explore. And I was like, I go outside and I get lost in the woods. Like I was in Vermont last fall, and I was doing a whole bunch of forest studies, and I literally got lost in the woods like 5 times, but that was okay because you can follow the stream back to town, and you can navigate it. It's okay, but like basically, if I see something, to answer the question, if I see something that might fit a scene, I go from in my brain, I go from, okay, this might fit a scene to it will fit a scene, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to make it happen. And if it comes out like so or crazy, that's okay. It's okay. Just let it come. It has to come out. And so I really enjoy the idea of exploring. I don't think that when I go out, the best paintings really come from super duper intentional, because that can be a little like, it loses its soul for me. It loses its heart and it loses its beauty because it's too rigid. And it's like, I want to paint this and it's going to be painted this way with those colors. Like, I can't do that anymore. That's too much. It's too high expectations.
Yeah, got
but
it.
anyways.
Nice.
So.
Okay, so another comment is your paintings are a delight for the eye. Thank you. And then we have another one here that says, where exactly did you go to paint these very dramatic meadows?
Yes, the dramatic meadows. Well, basically, I traveled to Carmel Valley, and that is exactly where I go. And then another place I go exactly is the Northeast to do winter scenes. But other than that, Golden Fields are inland, always here. So I seek inland stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff, like a lot of cool scenes. If you want to go check out stuff like up near York School or towards the airport, if you're familiar with the region. And so there's so many locations out there that I've explored. And it's interesting because like the way that the light hits the hills in the evening during the golden hour, it offers so much. It's such an interesting time of day to be out. So even if you're not going out to paint, I think it's just great to just drive around, and check it out. So I hope that answers the question.
I think so. Will, do you have any other comments for Ben or questions for Ben?
No, but just continue on what you're doing. And again, we're proud to have you as a member of the Carmel Art Association.
Yeah, we're super excited, Ben. And then just Tamara asked, how long is the show up for? Just to everybody, Ben's work, Craig's work, and then all other 4 artists that you're going to see this evening. The show is up until July 5th. And again, like Will said earlier, the gallery hours are Thursdays to Mondays, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And we have really wonderful customer service. You'll be treated lovely when you arrive, and you'll see some beautiful work. So Ben, again, we're thrilled to have you. Thanks. Your addition to the gallery is the phenomenal addition, and I think that people will really enjoy seeing your work in person as they come. So
thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes. Okay. So so hopefully when I remove you, hopefully you don't pop back up all the time. What's going on with that? And if you do, I apologize. But I'm going to remove you. So bye, Ben. Thanks so much for joining us. We're thrilled to have you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Ben. Thank you.
Okay. And remove. There we go. Okay, so we'll see what happens with these popping up. Okay, everyone. Our next guest is, who's next? Ann Artz. Let me find Ann. So Ann, I have you on there's 2 of you on here, and I will, I'm going to promote the first one to panelists. Hopefully it's the right Ann. And here's
the same.
Well, she might be on 2 computers. I don't know. We'll see. There she is. Hi, Ann, you're still on mute, so go ahead and unmute yourself.
There we go.
There
Okay.
you
Perfect.
go. Hi, Ann. Hi, welcome. Glad you're here.
Thank you.
Nice to see you in your studio. It's always fun to see artists in their studio and to see what's going on behind them. And it always wants us to see more. We're just like, okay, can we see like what's behind over there? Yeah. So welcome. I'm going to bring up I'm going to share the screen. So we'll go ahead and start with Ann.
Oh, okay. And again, we are so lucky to have you as a member. In fact, I was talking with my next door neighbor. You guys play tennis together, and she had nothing but praise for you. And but she wasn't real familiar with your artwork. Again, all of the artists tonight, all 6 of you, were. You all filled made us check all the boxes. You guys are just amazing. You're very diverse, very different, but your work is, it looks what I like to call intentional. And you must be very proud of what you do because it shows.
Oh, thanks. That's nice. Nice to hear.
Yeah, so Ann is our I would call you an abstract artist. I don't know actually if that's the right thing, that if artists like to be called abstract or contemporary abstract.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I am now, but I do occasionally do a representational work, and I still like to do that. So I'll probably do a series like that coming up or something, but for now, that works.
Nice. I think there's such a great energy to your work, to the line, the gesture that's in the line. That's something I really love. I love that mark making process, and that's really evident in a lot of your work. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? Like where does that come from, or is that pretty much always been a part of how you work and develop paintings?
Yeah, I think almost that's sort of my primary interest, and so sometimes I feel like I just paint a background so I can draw on top of it.
Oh,
I really love drawing.
Yeah.
I just love lines. I love black pencil. I love white pencil, on color. In here I did it with white paint, but it was the same kind of thing, experience where you're just doing something really delicate on already a very sort of massive surface or a very established surface. And I just love that there's a tenuousness in that I really appreciate. It's like being, just on the edge of something.
Right. So when you said you get the paint on the canvas so that you can then go on and do your mark making, do you ever do mark making first? I mean, is mark making
yeah, I mean, I was just saying that sort of is why I paint, but that's not really my process. I actually do start drawing on whatever panel I'm using, and then I with whatever different kind of markers, or even with a paintbrush, and I may hold a paintbrush from far away, and then as a composition will kind of reveal itself to me. So it's more integrated. It's not like I do just painting on top, paint and then draw on top. It's a much more integrated process, and usually starting with drawing.
Yeah. I think that's why I asked, because I feel that from your work, because I definitely see the layers that are there. It's very apparent, and everybody audience to you, when you come and see her work at the gallery, you can see those layers, and they really do draw you in, which is it's exciting. It's very exciting work. So as a jury, we were privy to seeing Ann's sketchbooks, which was really fun. And so do a lot of your final paintings, are they derived from sketchbooks and the fun little collages you do, or
yeah. So as you saw, I don't really do sketchbooks. I do little sketches. So they're 6x6 squares usually, and that's sort of my busy work. If I'm in between things or something, I'll just do it for fun. And then some of them know what that looks like, in a 5-foot square versus a 6-inch square. So right. they are kind of a starting point, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And it's just interesting to study that whole thing. Like, yeah. why is something so powerful at 6-inch square and you take it 5 feet and it doesn't work. You know, I don't know what, I haven't figured it out yet, but it's something that because I've just done, I think some of the ones you saw for the submission, I'm really excited to do big, but you know, I'm not sure if it's going to work, but anyway.
Yeah. So the scale is hard to tell on this screen share that I'm doing, but this one here, can you tell the audience the dimensions of this piece?
That's 40 by 60.
40 by 60. So when you come in the gallery, it is really impressive. It's right when you come in the gallery, it's right to the right of you. And it is powerful, and it really works at that scale. So it's always easy, I think, to bring things down in scale, like to see work represented small. But right, going from that small, from those studies or those sketches or those small pieces to see what they will do large is definitely can have its challenges for sure.
Especially because I like a lot of open space. So, you know, I'm working on something now, and there's just a ton of open space, and I'm like, well, you know, people aren't getting their money's worth, except because of up to the edges, you know, I can make it work. Like, and that's what I love open space. And I think it has something to do with living on the coast. You know, I am very connected to this landscape here in Carmel. I don't necessarily represent it in my work, but the feeling, it's that same feeling of living on the edge, that precipice, that, you know, just that, I don't know, tenuousness between and then, or being in the vast sea. It's really exciting to me.
And I think that there sometimes, I think that with abstract art, as viewers, we can project a lot of our own emotion that's in it. I think your work is very emotional. It is to me anyway. And I really appreciate that part about it. And so do you feel like that they're very personal to you? Is there a very like strong personal journey within each piece?
Yeah, I mean, you know, this one, for instance, I did incredibly fast. Oh, and wow. I tend to work on more, you know, 2 or 3 at the same time. And so, you know, one was going pretty well, and then I thought, well, I'll take a break and I'll do this. And then this came about so quickly. And I think that, you know, sometimes I go back into it, but sometimes I'm like, no, you know, don't screw it up. Preserve that energy that's there, because, you know, it's got a life of its own. And so right. That's something I'm pretty cautious about doing.
I'm going to actually stop screen sharing. So there's a few questions coming in for you. So I'll just give you guys one more quick view of Anne's work. That one, I actually don't remember the sizes, but they are impressive to see in person.
And I think too that seeing them in person jumps from the 6-inch square that Anne starts out with, perhaps as a color study, and then when you see them in person, you see all this dynamic energy of brushwork, and then with the addition of the line work, they're just pretty impressive pieces, and we're really honored to have you as a member.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sure. Okay, hang on a second. I'm looking for some questions. I saw your work on Instagram and I love it.
Thank you.
Yes. And I don't know if this is to you. What brought you to the Central Coast? You're from here, correct?
Well, I was born in Sacramento, but we came to Carmel every summer as, you know, a child. So it's always felt like home away from home. And, you know, I have no connection whatsoever to Sacramento. So this has always been, you know, where my heart is.
Got it. So as an adult, have you mostly lived here as an adult? I can't remember.
No, I moved here in 2012.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And do you have, I can't remember, do you have artists in your family as well? Or are you the?
My sister Joan is a terrific artist. I mean, she's also a landscape designer. She's just incredible at that. But she's also I think all of us have definite skills, you know, with pen and paper for sure. My father was a potter and a artist, and so there's a lot. But I'm, you know, not all of them have pursued.
Yeah.
So.
but you magically have a wonderful name, a wonderful surname.
I know. It was sort of destined.
That's really nice. So I also know that you also worked as a designer for a long time. And
Yes.
I find that really interesting that your work, your work is very like the compositionally. I feel like it feels apparent to me, not, you know, knowing it, but I think you have such a good sense of design and composition.
Mm.
Does your design work reflect your abstract paintings or vice versa?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're dealing with the same principles in graphic design as you are in art. You know, you want a strong balance of color, a strong balance of space. And sometimes when I'm stuck on a painting, I'll say, okay, let's pretend it's a book cover. And what would you do?
Wow.
You know? And and then I can think that way. And I love typography, and I'd like to bring more of that into my art. But design, absolutely, you know, in high school, I saw one logo and I thought, how did they do that? And I want to know everything about that. So it wasn't like I did it because I couldn't do art. I was genuinely interested in it, and I love book design in particular, editorial design. So still really, you know, have a passion for it.
That's great. So we actually have a question that asked that I think we kind of just answered, but you could definitely expand on it. Is I would like to hear more of what her art background is. So maybe.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, as a kid, I didn't know what being an artist was, but I pretty much knew that was my thing. There was no, I didn't want to be a doctor or a veterinarian or you know, any of that. I was like, I just got the language of art really suited me, and I got to it, figured that out quickly. And so I think I knew that. And I knew when I went to college, I didn't want to go to art school because I had other things. But I knew that art would be my major. And then, you know, but also in high school, I was kind of getting interested in design, and my college didn't offer any of that stuff. So after college, I pursued more design study.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just been kind of doing both, but art has always been primarily my thing, you know.
Yeah, nice. I'm just gonna see if there's any more in the chat here. No, the chat's just okay. Got it. Yeah, I think that we have. Good. All right. Well, I know we are thrilled to have you, Anne. And I encourage everyone, like I will with every artist here, is that, you know, come in and see this person's work. You won't be disappointed. And certainly take one home when you see your favorite one. But yeah, she's here with us now, and we're looking forward to a nice long relationship with you, Anne. And we're congrats on being with us. Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a great community.
Thank you so much.
Happy to be a part of it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna let you go. So give me a second. Okay, thanks a lot, Anne. We'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye. Let me remove you. There we are. And there we go. Okay, there we go. All right, next, who do we have? Anne, and then we have Sibyl, right? Sibyl's next, I believe. Let me get Sibyl up here. And we have two Sibyls as well. I don't know why, but we'll see if the right one comes up. And here she comes. Can you get your video on, Sibyl? See if it works. You're just almost there. Can you let me, I'm going to try the other one, Sibyl, see if I can bring you in. So give me a second. See if this works. Huh. She disappeared. Oh, Anne's there. Okay, hang on. We're having this fun. And we have two Sibyls. This is the joy of technology. Bear with us, everybody. Sibyl, can you unmute maybe and get a video, start video, maybe bottom, just hover over your screen towards the bottom left.
I unmuted. Can you hear me?
We hear you. Okay, so I'm gonna remove this one. We had two of you on. And there you are. So can you find your video? Are you with us, Sibyl?
I can hear. Can you hear me?
We hear you, but we can't
Yes,
see.
we.
What should I push?
So
See the lower left-hand corner of your screen. Can you see that thing where?
A start video.
Yep.
Yes. Yes. Here we go.
Hey,
Bingo. Bravo. Well done.
we did
Oh, my.
practice this, everybody, just to, but these things they are tricky. Hi, Sibyl.
Hi,
Welcome.
Jennifer. Hi, Will.
I have to keep on removing your other one that keeps on popping up. I'll just keep on doing it.
Good to see you, Sibyl.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you go ahead and start while I get over and share a screen. You want to start chatting with Sibyl? Well, do you want to start?
Yeah, Sibyl, again, we're so pleased to have you as a member. I know you have auditioned many times, and we're so glad that you made it. One of our as you know, we've talked about this before. One of our poster boy for auditions is Mark Farina. I believe Mark tried 17 times before he finally got in, and I know you've tried several times. And hopefully it's been worth the wait in the trials and tribulations. And it's not easy to get in this organization, but it is the organization to be a member of. And we're so glad to have you.
Well,
Why don't you begin and tell us a little bit about your medium, what you paint in and on?
Well, I paint in oil, and some of you may know that I was in the classroom for 30 years, and upon retirement, I have always studied art. I did a lot of drawing, but when I just needed to be outside, and that's about the time that I started plein air painting, and that's what I do for my joy. I just paint as much as I can. We don't have a lot of sunshine this summer, and so I am working on my grays.
Actually, yes, there we go. There's a foggy one. I happen to love this piece. It has that moody gray feeling of Monterey, and maybe I like it because this is exactly what we've been experiencing lately. So I think you captured the feel of that fog really well. And if anybody who lives here on the Central Coast can probably relate to this really well. So are all of your pieces done plein air? Is that your primary?
It is my primary. I start in plein air outside. That's my inspiration. And I'd like to say I played on this beach as a child, and so it really means a lot to me. It's my favorite place to paint. The other one that you just showed with the pelicans, not that one. That's Pacific Grove. This one. Those are pelicans landing there and resting. The color's not real good on the screen.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right. It's much better when you see it at the gallery. But
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah, all of my paintings start on outside, and so my favorite size is 11 by 14. You have to capture the light within 2.5 hours. So I work pretty quick, as quickly as I can, and then I take it home and maybe pop it or maybe correct something.
Do you use mostly brushes, or do you use palette knives as well?
I use a combination, but mostly brushes.
Mostly brushes.
For example, on this one, at the top where the light is hitting the greenery at the top, that's palette knife, but most of the rest of it is brushwork.
Yeah, I've never painted plein air. I mean, I've done sketchbook studies out in the wild, but I've never gone out with a plein air easel and with all that. And I find it a little bit intimidating.
It is, but it's joyful. It is so wonderful.
So intimidating and wonderful at the same time. Is that? Yeah.
Well, so, you know, when you face a blank canvas and
Yeah,
it's very exciting.
it is. I agree. I agree. There's a lot of excitement there, but I think that, yeah, I don't know why I find it intimidating, but I do. I think you capture, you know, the coast here so well, and the colors and the shadows I find really intriguing and just really beautiful. And Sibyl's right. The colors are so much better in person. So please, everyone, if you can get in to see Sibyl's work, it's worth it. Because
I love shadows. I had a teacher early and she said, your shadows should sing with color.
Oh, that's a great way. That's a great description for that. Yeah, nice. So
whenever I've been in a group and the conversation leans toward plein air, they always say and remark that, oh, you must know Sibyl Johnson, because you have been a force for better on the Central Coast with plein air painters for sure.
Well, thank you, Will.
how long have you been painting plein air? Is there a
20 years.
Wow. Wow, bravo.
I started in Southern California. There was a wonderful group there and some wonderful teachers, and that's where I began.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved here. I've been here, I don't know, 13 years now.
Okay.
And oh, it's interesting. I went to Cindra's gallery and I said, where's the plein air group? And she said, oh, I've been meaning to start that. And so we did. I'm a founding member of MB Papa.
Okay, nice. I think we have some questions. So these are just, so I have 3 of everyone's pieces that are currently in the show. And when you said your favorite size is 11 by 14, are these all 11 by 14 or thereabouts? I can't remember.
Yes, I think they are.
I think so too. And they're in beautiful, the beautiful black frames. Yeah, and just that little touch of blue. So this is your favorite beach as a child. What beach is it?
It's River Beach.
Oh yeah. Okay. We go there a lot. And that's where we see pelicans there en masse, right?
Oh yeah. Aren't they wonderful?
They are, sure. They sure
are.
And
the gulls as well.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. I'm going to escape out of here. There we go. So I can just, stop share. There we go. Okay. I'm going to remove this. So here we are, just us. And let me see what we have remove that one. And let me see what we have for some questions. Let's see. Delighted for you, well deserved for someone on getting into the gallery. And then Sibyl, that painting of the fog rolling brings me back home. That's from Carol Bellevue. And yeah, I think that's very true. That fog painting for people for those who know, right? And let me just see. I keep having to remove that. There we go.
I noticed that the painting on the wall behind you, Sibyl, and I've seen that in person before. And those studies like that of people in a gallery looking at artwork are so beautifully and so serene and contemplative. Nicely done. It's quite different from your plein air stuff, but that's a delightful piece.
Thank you.
Yeah. So in addition to plein air, are there other subjects that you study and create paintings of?
Yes, I've done a lot of life drawing and I've done some life painting as well. The painting behind me is of my daughter, and we were at the let's see which I can't think of the gallery. It's up in San Francisco right now. I'm a little nervous. And I took a picture of her. She's looking at a nude painting, a painting of a nude, and I call that nude study.
Nice. Don't be nervous. You're doing great. You're getting a lot of congratulations from Julia. Julia says congratulations to you.
Yeah, hold on, it'll get worse.
Right. I'm just going through the Q&A and making sure I've answered questions, and I think we have, which is nice. Delighted for you, well deserved. Yep, we got that one. All right, good. Okay. Yeah, so I think, let's see. So you shared that you have some very personal pieces where you have the figures in them. And I think there's also a lot of personal connection to the landscape. that is really apparent in your work, which we really appreciate seeing. And we're very happy to have it at the gallery. It looks beautiful. The show looks gorgeous. And I know that, people are going to really enjoy your work. I was there at the gallery today, like I said earlier, and there are a lot of admirers coming through today for all our members' work. And we made a point of letting everyone know that you guys were all brand new to us, and it was an exciting time. So a huge congratulations from all of us. Love the artwork was another one. So proud of you. Love the artwork. It's beautiful, from Lynette. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. And hang on, another congratulations from Rhett. Rhett Owings says congratulations. I don't know if you know who that is, but congratulations from Rhett. So, all right.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're so welcome, Sybil. We're happy to have you, and we will see you at the gallery. And
Indeed.
everyone, congrats to all from Ellen Dieter. Okay, so I'm going to let Sybil go, and I will bring on our next panelist. Thanks, Sybil.
Thank you, Sybil.
Thank you so much.
Okay. All right, let me remove Sybil. And next we have up is Robin Sawyer. So let me go over here and find Robin. Robin, you're in line. Let's see, and promote to panelists. And Robin should be coming on in a minute or seconds. There, oh, it was fast. And we'll need you to unmute and bring your camera up. And then I don't know why this is happening. Sorry, guys, I just keep on removing it. Robin should come up. Robin, can you unmute and maybe hover it down the bottom of your screen and put on start video?
Here we go.
Here we go. You're on.
Yay.
Hey, there you are.
Hi, Robin. Good to see you.
Hi.
Nice to have you here. Okay, well,
I just want to say to you guys that thank you for doing this, both of you, for all the work that went into making this virtual reception possible. And I'm so honored to be a part of the Art Association. So thank you.
well, we are very happy to have you. And this type of, getting into, being juried into the Art Association, we know, because we've been there, how important it is. And we absolutely wanted, without being able to have in-person celebrations, we knew how important it was to celebrate you all. So this is, like we said earlier, this is just a great ability that we have to do this and share with you and celebrate you. So congratulations. We'll go ahead and start, and I'm going to share my screen. All right, hang on a second. We have to do this, and then we go. There we are. There's Robin. Oh, Sibyl's back. Sybil, hang on a second, you guys. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can figure out. I don't know. Go ahead. We'll go ahead and start chatting.
Okay, Robin, you are such a dynamic painter, and you work with a variety of imagery. But these pieces are so have such a strong narrative to them, and I love a painting with a story to it, whether it's obvious or subtle. And these are just wonderful pieces. Your choices of colors and your composition. We all we're told by our art teachers, never put anything dead center in your artwork. Well, you have made this work absolutely. The subtle shading, the scumbling that you've done in the center, the work is just exquisite. And what's unique about being in this digital era too is now we can be seen and become personified with an audience and appreciators and fans and so on. And we're very lucky to be living in this golden window of digital experience with artists and organizations like the Carmel Art Association. We're so glad to have you as a member. Welcome to the family.
Thank you.
So can you maybe share with us a little bit about these seem like very personal pieces. I know they're abstracted figures, but there's something very personal about them. And they, like Will said, they have a strong narrative. Do you want to share a little bit about like what goes into them for you in terms of the narrative?
Well, I'm glad you said that, actually, because what my intention is to create a dialogue between the viewer and the figure. And intentionally, there is a mystery about them. Intentionally, the identities are withheld so that you as the viewer can engage in sort of an internal excavation of yourself, along with the figure who is, I consider these to be in kind of internal studies. And they begin with, well, first of all, I have a huge file of, as I'm sure you all do, of photos and things that have inspired me. And I bring those into the studio with me, and they speak to me, or parts of things speak to me, and they become a composite. And I intend to have them be mysterious. I want you to kind of feel compelled to stay with them and look at them more deeply. Of course, initially they are studies in composition and line and color and all, but more deep, they're intended to be more deeply seen.
And you have several of these. This I chose two to put up, but you have a whole series of this abstracted figure where the figure is there and they're against this abstracted background and color blocked in backgrounds. But you also have these landscape tree type pieces, which are like your color. So your color palette, as I kind of scroll through, there's a lot of highly contrasted colors, and they get the purples in here with the ochres and the earth tones. And here you've got the earth tones within the really green. And then here you have some of all of that. And I find that really interesting. And are those palettes that you're drawn to, or does the palette really develop with each piece when you're working in it?
Well, when I come into the studio every day, I know what I might work on, or maybe I already have something going, but the color choice is completely spontaneous. And it's kind of like, oh, I think I feel like working in this color today, or that color. And so I kind of get launched into working spontaneously with color. And it's color's always been a really strong part of my life. And hello, and it just comes naturally to me, and so it's just part of my process.
Yeah. Do you do a lot of smaller studies? Because these actually, if you'd like to share, these figure studies are these figure pieces are quite large. What is the dimension of these?
This one is 36 inches square, but with the frame on it. And I've got some really beautiful frames on these that expands the size to a little closer to 30 inches.
Right, but
to 38 inches.
Yeah, all the ones, they're all at least 30, the figure ones are at least 36 by 36, correct?
No, these figures are actually, they're smaller than you think. They're actually, I think 26 by 28, except for this green one, which is 30.
Okay. Oh, that's right. The green one, that's right. I was trying to place where that one is. You're right. But even still, that's quite large. So do you do smaller studies of these to kind of get ahead? Yeah.
I do drawings, but back when I first started, actually at the beginning of my art studies, I had a terrific figurative teacher who taught anatomy, actually. We had to make notebooks with anatomy drawings. But then the next semester I had an expressive, impressionistic kind of drawing teacher. And somehow I think the two have meshed together.
Yeah, have merged together, right. Yeah. Yeah, well, they're handled really well. And even the purple shadows in this one, I think are very compelling. There's something that gives it there's a nice sense of dimension, and yet, it's simplified, which is really, I find, very interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah. do you work with a lot of, I mean, I can see that there is brushwork, but I also, do you use palette knives? Do you use other materials? Is there a, are you adding and removing? Is that a simultaneous process of yours? Because that's.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do add and remove, and according to my whim and my mood for the day, I get out the palette knife, or at some of these paintings, I can't remember with this one. There's part palette knife, part brush, and I've been known to get out paper towels and, you know, all kinds of stuff. Now, this one that you're showing right now, this is acrylic. The others are oil.
Oh, okay.
And so this one, I am using a little different technique of applying color. And I love working this way too, actually. I have a whole series of these. And the series is called Sanctuary. And I think that making them was influenced by kind of the chaos of the last previous administration and and the pandemic. And for me, they're called Sanctuary. This whole series is because they represent a place to shelter and to find peace. And the other thing I think that's influencing me with these, I've been thinking about it with these tree paintings, is that my grandfather used to tell a bedtime story to me. And he made this up, but he would be taking me by the hand and walking into the forest with me. And we would come upon a little house, and the house was made of ice cream and all different flavors of ice cream. So the walls of the house and the windows and the doors were all, you know, kind of globs of ice cream, scoops of ice cream. And I'd be lying there in bed supposed to go to sleep, and instead I was salivating. So I think that this has, because I love the colorful adventure of these too.
Yeah. I agree with you. There's a playfulness that these have, and I find it really interesting that you said that and I remember seeing the titles at the gallery, the titles of Sanctuary, and I think that I find that as artists, all the artists that I've spoken to for the past year, you know, our lives didn't necessarily change a lot if we spend a lot of time of our studio anyway, but yet we still needed to find that sanctuary, that place of peace. And I know for me, art has always been, and certainly this past year has been a place of sanctuary and a place of finding escape from the noise and the chaos, and sometimes the overwhelming overwhelming parts of what's happening out in the world. And I appreciate that so much. It's really nice to hear this story and to hear the meaning behind it for you. And that's something I love about talking to artists, is that you hear so much more about what goes into the piece, and then you have a newer interpretation of it and a newer appreciation of it. So I'm glad you shared that. That's really nice.
I've read a lot of stories about artists, you know, over the last year, how they have approached their work or not approached it during this pandemic. It's interesting.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to, Sibyl, I'm just going to kind of keep on removing you. I don't know why you keep on popping up. I'm so sorry, everyone. There we go. But I kind of left there because we have a whole bunch of questions, it looks like. Let me see. What size are these paintings? So I think we kind of answered that. What is Robin's art background?
So I actually was a professional architectural photographer for about 10 years.
Wow.
and from there, I went to painting, or to drawing first, and painting. And I guess my first classes were at the San Mateo Community College when I lived up in the Bay Area. And then I had been at the Academy of Art also, which is where I was also studying photography. And I showed my photography work, and kind of loved having the opportunity to do art photography on the side of the architectural work, and decided that I'd like to just get my hands right in there and make art and not rely on a camera to do that. So yeah, as a result, though, so much of my files are photographs that I take, because you know, that's kind of my background.
Right.
And then I went to San Jose State for MFA, and I studied with a lot of teachers around here also. So it's kind of.
Did an MFA in painting or in another?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Nice. Excellent. So Chris says, I love your use of color, line, and mood. Gorgeous work. Congratulations. Another one says, great work. That's from Robert and Sarah. Very strong and exciting work. So you're getting a lot of nice compliments here. Congratulations. Sanctuary. Yes, I would love to see the whole series. Well, yes. So if you can't make it into the gallery, if you're not local, Robin's work is up on our website. If you go to www.carmelart.org, and you'll get a follow-up email with this information too. Each of our artists has a page on our website that shows anywhere up to probably anywhere from 10 to 30 pieces. And I believe your Sanctuary series is all on the website. Is that correct, Robin?
I believe it is, yes.
Yeah, I think so too. But there are a few. I think we have at least 3 or 4 hanging in the gallery right now.
Yeah.
Which really look spectacular. Yeah.
I think one of the things that caught my attention with Robin's work is not only is it exquisitely handled in the narrative that I like so much in artwork, but oftentimes artists, when they finish a painting, they forget about the last finishing touch, which is packaging. And I know it sounds tacky and crass, but you have absolutely perfect frames on your artwork. They match your artwork. They're exquisite, they're contemporary, and they set off the artwork beautifully. And to me, it's very important how you present the entire package. So anybody that can come on by the gallery, as I said earlier, 10 to 5 daily, except for Tuesday and Wednesday that we're closed, because these works are a must-see.
Yeah. They're striking. Yeah. And the show looks great together. Like we grouped these artist pieces together. So you really are seeing them as a small body of work. And so it is important to see them in person and see them live. And I think we've answered all the questions here. A good addition to the CAA. Yes. So kudos. And Sibyl just keeps on popping back up here. I have never had this happen before. Usually when we take someone off, a panelist, they stay off. I don't know what the glitch is there. I know no one else is doing it, but yes. Okay, well, Robin, thank you so much. Congratulations. We're very happy to have you. We're excited to have, see your work on a continual basis. And we know you're a great addition to the gallery. So we will see you soon. And do you have anything else you wanted to share, or are we?
Yeah, we look forward to seeing much more.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Robin, what did you say?
I just want to express my gratitude.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being here this evening and sharing. Like I said, it's really great to hear what goes in, what's in the artist's mind. It helps us connect, and also it helps us kind of be inspired to make our own narratives, which I think is really important. So thank you so much. And I'm gonna let you go here, and we'll bring on our very last artist for the evening. Thanks, Robin.
Thank you.
Okay, I am going to find Cindy. Let's see.
Well done. Very nice.
Promote to panelist. Cindy, here you come. And now we'll have Robin popping in. It seems like the last person just kind of
probably, yeah,
popping in.
But don't immediately assume that it's your fault.
I don't know what's happening. There's no timing on it. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, okay, Cindy, can you see your video?
Cindy, you might want to unmute.
She comes on. Can you come on?
On there.
Oh,
there we go.
Have your voice?
Yes. Now how
There
do
we
I
go. It should be up shortly.
Can you find the camera?
Record.
Yeah,
I
lower
see.
left-hand corner, Cindy.
Well, I'm in my iPad and it's not the same as a computer.
You're
I
right.
knew I messed this up. Oh wait, start video.
There you are.
There we go. Ah, perfect.
was so getting nervous about just getting on.
I know. That's the hardest part. Like bringing your video, that's the hardest part of the evening.
I still really didn't know until now. I was on here.
Well, we're glad you're here. Congratulations on being a new member at the Art Association. We're happy to have you.
Thank you.
I am going to go ahead and share my screen. So Will, go ahead and start chatting up with Cindy.
You know, Cindy, like all plein air painters, and I'm familiar with your plein air work. Everybody has their own technique and style. You painters can get together and paint from the exact same angle, and each painting is totally different. And even though Sibyl is a plein air painter and has been doing that on the Central Coast for a long time, your work is just absolutely exquisite and very different too, in handling of the colors and the light too. And you do have obviously your own brush technique and so on, and the work is just superb. And again, and I hate to keep repeating myself, but all 6 of you are just amazing artists, and we are so proud to have you as members of our organization.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did know that. Yeah, so Cindy, one thing that compelled me, or really drew me into your landscapes, is your use of color, and these creamy tones, earth tones that you use kind of throughout. There's a warmth to them that is really quite stunning. Do you want to speak a little bit about, are these all done plein air? Are these all?
Well, most of them, can you see me?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I can't see. Okay, most of them, most all my paintings, until this last year, I've not been able to get out much, but most of them are started in plein air, and a lot of them will, turn out, and I sell them and all that, but I usually keep them for a bit to do a studio painting, a larger version. And sometimes they look like this, the smaller one, but usually I go off on this tangent. And next thing I know, I'm adding things and recreating many things. So I just kind of get lost in the process of creating. So
I think one of the most unique things I find about this is your addition to these negative spaces amongst the trees there and everything. And while studying those, my eye is immediately drawn to those delicate 2 little figures there, or maybe it's a single figure there, little tiny detail, but that's the little jewel of the painting that brings the eye in and focuses on that. And then, of course, I appreciate all the color, the reflected rocks and so on. Just superb work.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're the tones, the tones in the water, the greens and the teals are really quite stunning. And here in this one, I love these that have the more landscape and not a lot of water, even though your water pieces are beautiful. But I think what I'm really drawn to, like I said earlier, is just the warmth of the earth, of the lighter earth tones that you use, and the creamy oranges that you bring in. They're unexpected, yet at the same time they feel like they belong right there, which is really nice. So how long? So I obviously the landscapes inspire you, and what is it exactly? Can you kind of capture what inspires you the most about painting landscapes? What's most inspirational?
Well, actually, I've been painting all my life, or not all my life, since I've been very young. And I started out with more figures and still lifes, but we bought a home here about 20 years ago, and I switched to the landscapes. I mean, I was so taken away with our beautiful landscape here. And, most people I paint with, they sometimes will turn directly to the ocean. And I just turn this way and there's a whole nother painting there. So when I'm out there, what I really love about being outside painting is you spend, 2 or 3 hours there. And not only what you're seeing, but what's going around you. One time we were painting, a wedding was going on, and we ended up clapping for them. And then pretty soon they came over and wanted to join us for pictures. And so when I take that little study and then bring it to the studio, I'm still filled with memories and emotion. And I really love stories. And I love the story that goes with each painting, whether you really know it or not. There's usually one of some sort, catastrophes or good things happening. But I like what I try to paint is I end up being done and trying to put some kind of a little mystery back there that's in the distance, like, you know, people are walking, or what is that little thing back there? Is it a
Right.
house? That's
With
really
you saying that, yeah, with you saying that, I'm looking at the painting that we're looking at right now. Those little bits of color that are really like right at the edge of that second tree line there. I'm seeing a bright red and a green, and I'm like, oh, what is that? Like, and now I'm very intrigued to kind of understand what's going on back in there.
I like to leave it to the viewer a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it's abstracted enough where it does.
And when you see artwork handled and the medium handled so well, and whether it's abstract or these beautiful plein air pieces, you can see why fine art and visual arts is the universal language here, because it's really hard not to connect with some of this on some emotional level. These are exquisite pieces.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I agree.
Thank you.
So the personal stories, it's really, oftentimes I think when maybe some people look at landscapes, they don't understand that there's a very personal connection or a personal story behind what's there. And I'll just reiterate what I said earlier with Sibyl and everyone else, that it's so refreshing to hear the words behind the work, because we don't get an opportunity to do that very often. And it gives us a sweet experience for sure. So this one here is it water that is going back in there?
Well, you know, this particular piece was one of my little tangents I talked about. It's
okay.
Is a little smaller one, and it's actually Carmel Beach Dunes, which does not have a water thing going through it. But I did a really little one. Then when I went to the studio, it started out that way, and next thing I know, I was playing with it and it became a whole different piece.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
I used to do that as a child when I had color books. I loved them, but I ended up on another piece of paper making similar, and then I drew other things.
Right.
So
right.
I just tend to go off sometimes and add
Right.
things that aren't even there.
That's great. Yeah, fantastic. We have some questions, so I'm going to stop screen sharing here and go over to our questions. There we go. And let me pull up some questions here. Okay, congratulations, Cindy. You have such dreamy work, scenes that I would like to be a part of. That's from Tamara. So beautiful. What are your favorite tools to use when creating your paintings? This is from Luke.
Well, that's my son. Actually, he knows. I have to give him credit.
You were supposed to say that.
Oh, okay. Well, the reason I'm going to say it is because of my son that I'm painting now. I've painted my whole life, and he knows that. But then I love anything with my hands. Clay, you know, crocheting, everything. And one day he said to me about 20 years ago, said, "Mom, a lot of people, you know, you should stick to painting." And I did paint, but I really did focus my thinking on, and it's always been my passion, but I also got sidetracked a lot with too many things that I couldn't focus as much as I wanted. So thanks, Liv. But I've experimented with everything, but oil's what I tend to really just love. It's really juicy. You can thin it, get oil on canvas or linen.
Yeah. Have you worked with acrylic at all, or primarily oil?
I actually teach quite a bit, and some of my students I do acrylic for the classes, unless I have some experience that we do oil. But I've done pastel, watercolors.
Yeah. Do you find, I know for me, when I switch back and forth between mediums, I tend to do it a lot, and I have to relearn the medium. Yeah. As I go, I find that, is that the same case with acrylic and oil? I haven't used acrylic in years. Yeah,
I need to focus. So I'm sticking with oils right now.
Yeah, well, they're beautiful. Okay, I look forward to seeing your beautiful work in the gallery. Congratulations. I love painting with you. This is from Rhett. Your work is very inspiring to me.
Thank you.
And then what is your favorite size to paint in the studio? is it hard to transition to larger pieces from your plein air studies?
Okay, I have two parts of that.
Yeah.
Because of the galleries I've been in, there wasn't room for much larger pieces. I've done a few. I actually love to paint large. It is a transition when you've got a little 6x6 study to go directly. Sometimes I transition from that to maybe a larger and then do the big one, like picture you showed with the other side of China Cove. I got a really large one of that, but I started a 6x6 and 8x8. And then I went up to I don't know what it is, 20x24, I think.
Nice.
So, but large is fun. I like, and when you do large, it's very hard to go back to small ones.
Oh, so is the challenge more than like having the 6x6s out doing plein air? Is that more of an adjustment than it is going to large?
Outside, I've done a plein air of the one you just showed, started as a 6x6 because I don't feel as comfortable painting rocks as I do my trees. So I just thought, let me just try a little and see if I can get it. And then it was fun. So I got a little bigger, but outside I usually do a 9x12, 11x14.
Okay. Yeah.
It'd
Nice.
be fun to do a big one, but I don't know if I could get it down.
Sure you can. You just got to get bigger brushes, right?
That's what they say, but it's
I know
wind knocks you over.
I know it is. Yeah, it is intimidating. It can be intimidating for sure. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on kind of, I mean, or any thoughts to different subject matter, like in terms, yeah?
Yeah, I actually, like I said, I started in figures, and I'm tending with my work. I started out really young doing more realistic. And then as I've, gone on, I'm more attracted myself to do a little bit more looser. And I'm actually wanting to be even more so. And I've been playing around with, I'm kind of going back to figures a little bit abstracted. And I've also done a couple where it's kind of a weird thing to say, but I see people in my shower in the tiles and they're very abstract. And so I ended up making a little book. Like my husband couldn't see them. So I used to teach second grade and had a lot of that vellum paper. So I'd put it on and trace it so he could see what I'm talking about. And with those figures are giving me ideas of, it's almost like you've got to find them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm playing. I just like to play. I've got metal paint on and wax, and I play a lot. So I feel like something's coming.
Oh, cool.
I want to try, but I better hurry and get it. Getting kind of old.
Well, our play for art as play or play as art is so critical to our development, I think, and actually to really finding new things that you may not have known were there. And you can't do it. I don't think you can do it without play. I mean, maybe you can, but I think it really
right.
Let loose, like Ben was saying earlier, like let loose, be open to that's where new things develop from. And it can be,
and you're very intuitive. You're not worrying about this is for the gallery, that you're just experimenting. And it inspires me.
Yeah, no, it's very inspirational. I agree. It is. Yeah. Very
Who knows?
much.
Coming up next, maybe. I don't know.
I'm just seeing if I have anything in the chat, and I don't, which is good. Okay, good. Thank you everyone for putting your Q&A, all your questions in the Q&A. That's super. Okay, well, again, congratulations, Cindy. We're thrilled to have you. We had a lot of, I was telling everybody in the gallery, everyone on so far this evening, we did have a lot of admirers in the gallery today. A lot of there are some people spending a lot of time looking at your work and talking about it and really admiring. I think a few of the comments I heard were your the colors and the shadows that you had, and the little touches of the bright colors that were really, they found really intriguing. So that was exciting.
That's nice to hear.
Nice to hear. So welcome and congratulations. We're glad you're here. Thanks for being with us tonight and sharing a little bit about you. It's always an important thing. And I'm going to let you go off, and Will and I will do our closing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, let's see if she might pop back on. Who knows?
That's true.
Will, I have one comment for you. Mark Farina 13 times.
Oh, 13. Okay.
So anyway, well, that is our show, you guys. I think I've answered all the questions here. There was one question that went out to Craig that said, how tall are the sculptures that I missed? And I think a lot of them, I say like, oh, I don't know. I think they're all under 24 inches high, I think. So, but you can see them at the gallery and online. If you look at Craig's work, you will see dimensions for his work. And again, this fantastic show, everyone, is up until July 5th. Please come on over and see it. It's open. The gallery is open tomorrow. Gallery is open Monday, and then again starting on Thursday. So Thursdays through Mondays. Will, would you like to share any parting words?
Yes, these artists are such a great addition to our organization, and it shows that I think that the sky is the limit, and we artists as creators, there isn't anything we can't paint and any place we can't go. And if you like an artist, come back every month, because we have a brand new show every month, and we're always featuring your favorite artists, because all our artists are featured every month, some more than others according to whoever's having a solo show or a dual show. But it's always there's always something new and exciting. And this virtual reception, we may continue that for many months to go, just to give a one-on-one and let the community and the world know about these specific artists, that we are human beings too, besides doing our wonderful artwork. So, but artwork is meant to be seen in person. So please come on in. We are open except Tuesday and Wednesday, but wonderful artwork every month. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for all your hard work on this. This has been fun and delightful success.
It is, yes. So everyone visit our website, www.carmelart.org. We are on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, we post frequently all kinds of fun things on Instagram, including videos. We do a lot of in-gallery videos, and where we interview the artists. Will and Lucas will have a video up in a couple of weeks where we interview them and talk about their current show, as well as Dennis Peaks. We also have a YouTube channel where we put everything. And what else do we have? We're on Facebook. So we're pretty active out there getting our art and the art of our artists out to the world. So you can find us on all those platforms. Just look up Carmel Art Association. And thank you everyone for taking time on your Saturday evening to join us. I know we can't see you, but we are assuming that's all smiling faces out there. And we're so glad you joined us. And I will sign off. You'll be getting some follow-up emails from this and a little poll that you can answer if you like. So, okay. Thank you,
Good night,
Will.
all. Thank you.
Good night, everyone. End meeting for all.